Hi everybody, Jordan Still 88 with another video. I'm going to talk about the Steelers wide receiver behavior issues they had like in the past. So let's get into it. The Steelers, prior to the George Pickens trade about a couple of weeks ago, they have wide receivers. They had had act like prima donnas and divas on this Steelers team, and they have behavior issues as well. So I'm gonna name a few, but not all of them. So let me start with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, he was a Steelers sixth round pick in the 2010 draft by the Steelers. So, and Antonio Brown, he's been to the Pro Bowl 7 times, 4 times All Pro. He's been a Super Bowl champion, not with the Steelers. So, in his 9 years with the Steelers, he had 837 receptions, 11,270 yards, and 74 touchdowns, receiving wise. Rushing wise, he only had about 31 attempts, 119 yards. Well, because sometimes they'll put him on the reverse and all these type of things. So, and during his time with the Steelers, though, when Vontaze Burfict knocked Antonio Brown out in the wild card game in 2015, that like changed Antonio Brown's mindset. And then after that Vontaze Burfict hit the next year, when the Steelers beat the Kansas City Chiefs in a divisional round, Antonio Brown puts out a live stream, well, Facebook Live on his phone while Mike Tomlin was giving a speech about the Patriots, and he got caught for it. And the next year, 2017, against the Baltimore Ravens, this guy froze a Gatorade cooler after he was not targeted for a wide open reception from Ben Roethlisberger. And then from there, he was getting into it with coaches, getting into it with Ben Roethlisberger, and the Steelers after the 2018 season had enough of him. Oh, and by the way, he showed up late in that last game of the 2018 season. I think it was against the Bengals, I believe. And then after the 2018 season, they released him. When he went to the Raiders, he was getting into it with coaches. He had a prior chamber incident when his feet got messed up. And like I said, he was getting into a coaches and then getting into a GM. And the Raiders released him after the preseason, and he signed with the Patriots. Plays one game for them and was gone after that. Spent 2 years with Tampa Bay in 2020, won a Super Bowl with them. And then I think it was during the 2021 season, in the later portion of the season against the Jets. Antonio Brown took off his equipment and ran into the locker room. And, prior to that, he was jumping up and down in the end zone and ran into the locker room. What I should have said. And then after that, he was getting to all kinds of trouble with the law and all these type of things. So that's Antonio Brown right there. Now let's talk about Diontae Johnson. Diontae Johnson, he was a third round pick of the Steelers in 2019. Now, Diontae Johnson, he's been to the Pro Bowl 1 time, and during his 5 years with the Steelers, he only had 391 receptions, 4,363 yards, and 25 touchdowns. I mean, he was a locker room cancer, just like George Pickens, who I'm going to talk about. I mean, this guy was not a consistent receiver at all. I mean, he was pretty good, but not consistent. I mean, every time he has a good play, the next play is just bad. I mean, he's been setting his team back from time to time. And then after the 2020, and during the 2022 season, he did not have a touchdown reception at all. Maybe because of Kenny Pickett being a quarterback. Maybe it could be that. So, but you know, and after the 2023 season, they released him. Goes to the Panthers, plays 7 games with them. Goes to Baltimore and released for the Panthers in the midseason. And goes to Baltimore, plays only 4 games, started one. Then goes to Houston, plays 1 game. That was it. And now he's with the Cleveland Browns. So, I mean, Diontae Johnson. I mean, I think he got into it with Mika Fitzpatrick one time. I think it was 2020. preseason, I believe, when he got into it with Mika Fitzpatrick. So, so that's Diontae Johnson right there. Now let's talk about Chase Claypool. Oh my goodness, Chase Claypool, he's from Canada, and he was a second round pick of the Steelers in 2020. I mean, his rookie year, he was going off, man. He was going off in his rookie year, and then the next 2 years with the with the Steelers, he fell off. I mean, his 3 years with the Steelers, he had 153 receptions, 2,000 yards, and 12 touchdowns. So, so he was not both with the Pro Bowl, nor was all Pro. And then during the middle of the 2022 season, he was traded to Chicago, and then he went to the Dolphins, and he went to the Dolphins in 2023, and then he went to the Bills and not played one game with them. So yeah, because Trace Claypool, his route run was terrible, and then he said during the 2020 season or the early push in 2020 season, he said losing, never heard of her. And then later in the 2020 season, rookie year, we started having this collapse. I mean, his route run was terrible, like I said before, and then he was getting trouble off the field as well. I think, uh, if I recall correctly. So yeah, man. And then during the game against the Minnesota Vikings, he gets a first down, and then starts celebrating, and then we lost the game after that. That was in 2022, I believe, or 2021, excuse me. So yeah, 'cause that was stupid on his part though. So yeah, while we're gonna go down to tie the game against the Vikings though, when when we got the first down, like I said before, and he starts celebrating on the first down, and Ben Roethlisberger was running no huddle, and he lost his head right there. So yeah, so that's Chase Claypool right there. Now let's talk about George Pickens, who we traded a couple of weeks ago. Now George Pickens was a second round pick of the Steelers back in 2022. I mean, we were about to have this Pickens connection when Kenny Pickett was picking the first round and George Pickens picking the second round. That was going on throughout 2022 and 2023, sort of. And then, I mean, George Pickens, man, in his 3 years with the Steelers, he had 174 receptions. I mean, yeah, 174 receptions, 2,841 yards, and 12 touchdowns. I mean, not voted to the Pro Bowl not one time. I mean, because George Pickens, he was getting to it with coaches, just like Antonio Brown, but a little worse. He said for me the effing ball and all that type of stuff. And then he had his eye black against the Cowboys, I think. He said, I'm always effing open and all that. And then after we lost to the Cowboys, he tosses this, he pulls the Cowboys face mask off after the game. And that was a bonehead move by his part. And then um, in the game against the Cleveland Browns on Thursday night, he gets into it with a security guard trying to fight this one Cleveland Brown player and all that. And then and and, and um and then he just shows up late to games. And the Steelers would have another George Pickens crash outs and all these type of things. So yeah, so like 2 weeks ago they traded away him to the Dallas Cowboys. For the Steelers to get more draft capital for next year's draft, which is in Pittsburgh, by the way. So so that's George Pickens right there. So so yeah, man. I mean, Omar Khan and Eddie Law, what they just had enough of these wide receiver behavior issues and the prima donnas they had on this team. They're not gonna put up with this type of BS and all that. I mean, Omar Khan had enough of all that. I hope George Pickens is the last wide receiver diva and or prima donna, should I say, on the Steelers team that is just hurting this franchise and all these type of things. So yeah, so so let me know what you think down in the comment section and down below where I talk about these wide receiver behavior issues and the wide receiver acting like prima donnas and all these type of things, like divas and all that. I mean, like I said, Omar Khan has had enough of all this type of crap, all this type of shit that's hurting his team. So I think they did the right thing, get rid of trading away George Pickens. I know people are crashing out all about that, but hey, I don't look at DK Metcalf that way. I know some people do, but nah, I don't look at him that way. I know there's some other receivers that act like divas and all that stuff, have wide receiver behavior issues and all these things, like Plaxico Burress at times, Mike Walls at times, and all these type of things. But I just named four of them. So, so yeah, man. With that being said, that's all for this video. This is George Steele 88. See you guys in my next video. And as always, here we go, Steelers. Here we go.